video games for me specifically taught me English. Video games taught me how to speak, how to think through problems, and this idea of leveling up in life. So I'm really, really excited to show what Dream is about and all he stands for. Remember, here is in the Sentox is a place for humanity's evolution. So we have here Dream. Dream, pleasure having you here today. Super, super important conversation. This live was pending since our trip that we met back in New Jersey back in April, and yeah, we're gonna dive deep today. It's a really, really important topic. So guys, I met Dream back in New Jersey. Our first time meeting was in the metro station. I think it was in metro station. I don't remember the name of the station, but it was a really big station. And then we started talking, we started connecting. I met with Luna as well, and I know just by feeling you that you have a powerful aura, you have a powerful energy, and you have so much wisdom inside that you've come to different ways of showcasing, maybe through a game, maybe the notes. There's a lot of wisdom that you share online. So please share who is Dream and what do you stand for? What are your current projects? Because everyone should start hearing about it.
So originally, my name is Dean. That's what everybody sees, in this world right here. And then Dream is this character that I created who represents the child inside of me that never died, right? So Dream's ultimate objective really is to help others remember that child within them, because essentially when you succeed in this game, this child becomes a genius, and this genius actually helps you manifest millions in this world that we live, right? And that's the whole point of the game, is for you to unlock your highest ability or your highest values, whether that's money, whether that's time, whether that's imagination, right? And put it into a test, right? That's gonna work for you specifically, depending on, again, what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dream is just creating all of that right now, right? And he's putting Dean, which is me, right? He's putting Dean to the test towards it. So I'm Dream's client.
Wow. Okay. So you're your own client. You're your own experiment in a way. What has been like the biggest challenges Dream has you through this past few years that has led you to be?
For one thing, it's not sync. As the cliche saying goes, never give up, right? It's like Dream always wanted to remind me that even though I feel this way, it's not the actual reality, right? And I had to go through a couple ups and downs to realize that every day is the same. The only thing that's different is us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the ups and downs, they're not sinking. So based on what you're telling me right now, you said a couple of things that Dream aspires everyone to get to. So you said money, you said value, you said imagination. Did you say imagination?
That's correct, yeah.
Let's define those terms. What is imagination for you or for Dream?
I would say imagination is when there is just countless ideas, but more importantly, there's this how to say, it's like light as a feather almost, right? To explain it, is this lightness within does not go away, right? I've known that, to give an example, I know this when I'm or anybody's at work, their imagination could be restricted due to the environment or due to the people that are around. It creates a box almost, right? And that imagination is restricted. So imagination is just the opposite of that, right? It's the expansion and the continuous flow of I like consciousness, but the continuous flow of that child within you, being able to play, having that permission to play.
Mm-hmm. The permission to play, love that. And yeah, sometimes in the work, in the box, in that context, you stop being capable of going into different solutions. That's why sometimes they think outside the box, but there shouldn't be a box to begin with, because
Right.
it already cuts the imagination in a way.
Right.
Define value.
So it depends, because you see, in part of my game, there is 7 different forms of that word, and that's like how specific it goes into it, right? Value to you may be different to me, clarity. Now, when we identify what type of person you are, then we will realize game or test you will play in this world, of course. To give you an example, in my game, one of the type of people is earth element person or user, right? The earth element is very focused. When it comes to value, his focus is personal gain or loss. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, doesn't matter. In his experience, he's focused on what he gained and what he lost. That's just the type of person he is. Therefore, that's the type of game that he's going to be playing. So that's value for an earth element. Now, let's say for someone like me, now I'm a fire element according to my game. So the type of value that I have is how much fun did I have? Because that's kind of like focus fire. They want to know how much experience they can grab, almost like a game with experience points, right? Mm-hmm. How much experience points did I grab at the end of the day, right? That's what I would find value.
Okay, love it. So yeah, now let's funnel in and let's go to the game. The game that you're developing is a game of personal development. It's a game of living. It's a game that Dream is making Dean play as the main character. So briefly explain what's the starting structure of the game, because we're all playing.
So the starting structure, I mean, we do this. You will focus onto this in your downtime, right? But the idea is before you start the game, we want to make sure you're okay. We want to make sure that you ate well, that you're sleeping well, that you're in a safe environment. Like those are the first basics, because then you can move on into like these extra things that the game wants to give you. For example, like the game is called Rise, right? So the whole point of it is for you to rise above the situation or position that you're in, whether that one level or 2 levels is to do that by the end of the day, to rise. And so some of the commonalities of the game go to point out. So there's a system that I'll review with you later in the live. But this system I like to call the top 5. Right now, this system everybody follows. Everybody can follow it. Right, it's part of the game. Right, and it goes to say it has 5 in a row. 5 things people focus on every day. That's self-care and self-improvement. Right, they go hand to hand. We got peace next. We got fun next, then we got purpose, and then last but not least, we have part of the game's like very first fundamentals is learning how to I'm gonna say achieve, but I know there's a better word, how to complete each of these categories in your day within 24 hours, right? When you do that, because the thing is, depending on the type of person you are, you're going to have different answers for what peace means to you today and what fun means to you today. But at the end of the day, if you complete these 5 things, then you just completed 1/3 of the game immediately, because now you're like, I completed these things. Now I know what my mission is. Now I know what's going on, etc. And then from there, we move on to the second part, right? The second part is learning more about your own. Let me explain, right? A water element user in my game is mostly focused on most sincerest truth. This sincerest truth is based off emotional connection. The water element sees life out of emotion naturally. We could actually compare this, right? Not to say in all examples, but in women. Women have this high level of water element, which makes them emotional creatures. It's just an example, right? So a water element user is going to focus on their relations, right? Their friendships, how deep are they? To them, that's what value is. It's how deep can you and I be connected? That will bring value to our connection or to my experience in this world. And if you think about it, it doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a thing, right? So, for example, a water element user would be like, how much connection do I have with my notes or with the story that I'm writing? That connection is the value that they're seeking. Right, and that's just for the water element user. There's one for the air element user, air, which is connected to the mind in the game. So there's all these elements are connected to a different part of the body that if you take care of, again, which is the second part of the game, you take care of that, you grant your highest into your experience to what it is that you value. For air element, it is the mind. Therefore, the mind connects to imagination. So their value is imagination. How much imagination? How much of a flow of ideas and expansion of reality can I bring into my day to day? That is what I bring back. That's the air element.
So we have fire. That's how much fun. Earth, what I won, what I lost. Then we have water, my emotional bank account in a way, like my relationships, what brings my emotions up in a way. Then we have air, the whole mental game on the ideas and the expansion that we create from inside out and from the outside in. And then what will be the next?
So we have sound. So they actually come in order. So it's first sound, air, fire, earth, water, electric, and then last but not least, magic, which we're going to get in, right? So the first one is sound. Sound has to do and is connected to the soul. The game of the sound is the game of what makes sense the most. Forget the emotions, forget all that extra stuff. Tell me what makes sense the most. That person of someone that sound is focused on the most. That's his game. I want life to make sense. What do you mean a soul? What is a soul? What is a mind? What is this? It's that. That's the game. Air would be imagination, self-explanatory, connected to the mind, right? Fire connected to the heart. Hence why it's connected to fun. The more fun you bring to your life, and of course a healthy way, the more your heart is fed. The more your heart is fed in a fire user. Now we have, I'll explain to you again, like how we actually have all these elements inside of us. I'll explain that later on, right? Fire, heart, most fun. Next one will be earth. Earth is actually on the body, hence why we have that physical mindset when it comes to the game. Again, gain or law, right? So that's earth. That's gonna be the body, and then the next is gonna be electric. Electric has to do with gut, with the neural pathways in the body that connect to everything. Like, it's pretty much the ecosystem in a way, you know. Their game, I'm not mistaken, is to feel connected to everything. It's to feel connected to, it's to feel connected to friends, feel connected to God, feel connected to everything that can power them up, kind of like a power grid, right? You know, we have it, right?
So feeling like they're charging in a way. When they're connected in whatever. But what would be the difference between someone that's feeling connected because they're having fun and an electric? What would be
their form of truth? They're just going to see things differently, slightly differently. Let me try to bring an example. All right, I say it like this. With the earth element, they're focused on what's in front of them. The fire element may be focused on what's coming in front of them in the next 24 hours. Just that difference. Hey, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Hey, I'm focused on what's coming to me in my day. Will show the trump of how these games are going to be played differently, and how these games or how the users are going to coexist. It's like the way I see it very clearly, because the people that I meet every day, they're already playing this game. Everybody's already playing this game, and so when I get to know these people, I get to know what they seek the most out of situations, out of their life. And in reflection, I see what I seek the most, right? What does Dean seek the most? Now, Dean, he's a fire element, and then naturally he goes into an earth element later on in the game. So we also have transformation throughout the game, because the idea is, and this is the third part of the game, the idea is once you have your highest achievement of truth, you know, and you're like honoring it, and you're supplying that side of you like a battery. Third part of the game is how to activate all these sides in you, all these elements inside of you. How to be that in I'm gonna say persona. How to be that persona and how to sustain that persona. Because truth be told, the whole purpose of the game Rise is so that you come out into the world and you accomplish what it is that you seek. Accomplish is the key word. And to do so, you're going to need all the power, all the imagination, all the heart, all of this together, right? When you focus on what it is naturally to you, what element is natural to you, it's easier. It just means that you don't have to put in so much work for yourself to have fun today, or to have it today. You don't have to put so much work into it. You can put so much work into pursuing the purpose or accomplishing the purpose, but it shouldn't be hard for people to have meaning in their life, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so let's go from the back to the front to the present, because we are now at electric, right? Are there two more?
There's one more. One more is magic.
Okay, let's get to magic first. Before we get to magic, let's just restate. The first thing is everyone's playing the game. Everyone identifies their element. But before even working with your element, you have to be sleep well, rest, eat, and you can go into the tandem of organic food that is electric for your body, food that really nurtures you.
That's later on.
Yeah. Oh, that's later.
That's later on. Yeah, because that's the thing. You see, in the game of electric, you will realize that, like for an electric user, you will realize that eating raw alkaline foods or electric foods or fruit will bring the most energy to their body. Then they're like, oh, okay, and then they switch into that format of living so that they get the high experience once again. So yeah, it's all covered. Really, the very first stage is is going to be, hey, like, are you safe? Do you have shelter? Are you okay? You know, like, you're not holding on to anything. You're not hurt. You know, these things, just so that you could focus on, again, the next thing, which is self-reflection,
Okay,
self-improvement.
so let me go back at it again. Maybe we can put it Maslow hierarchy of needs: safety, shelter, food, and it's basic, general, super generalized. Then you go inside to the self, learning your element, learning what you are, who you are, what's your element, and then you start playing the game.
There
Because
we
if
go.
you're thinking of survival, you cannot think of thriving if you're just surviving.
And with that being said, too, before we continue, there is status points part of the game, right? The first status point is survival. The second status point is living. The third is thriving, some of the terms that we understand. And then the fourth one is ascendant or ascending. And the purpose of these status is to show you how much in life are you in each of these categories. Are you surviving more than you're living? Living would be stage 2, which is like you got your needs met. Now you're kind of like looking for your wants. That's your living status. Thriving is you got your needs and your wants, and now you're like going for extra, like you're going for the goal. That's thriving. And then ascended is when like you have everything and you've learned that like you can experience everything by having nothing, but you could only know what that feels like when you've had everything. Ascended.
Okay, so I get surviving, living, thriving, ascending. Those are the 4 status, and that's not even the stages, because it's a status. There's one thing. Levels are safety, then levels. Let's get into magic before we go into the 3rd level. What's the 7th element? Magic.
So magic is a little of everything. These type of people, they want to know what is everybody's truth, because it is their truth. So it's like they're invested in learning what everybody's truth is, because they know that everybody is them, essentially. You know, we're all in this together. You know, so magic is a little bit of everything.
Love it. Okay, so we finished with the elements. Then let's go forward, level deeper. What's the 3rd level?
So the 3rd level is now activating everything to this highest potential. If you activate your soul to the highest potential, then you have the most soulful, lucid dream in this reality. Let's just say it like that. Second one, you have the highest potential to your mind, and your mind takes you to places far away. You get to travel. Even in this room that I'm in, I get to travel so far away in my mind. That's the highest achievement there. That's unlimited. That's infinite. That's infinite imagination. So you could only imagine, right? Third one is going to be the heart, the fire. You bring the heart to the highest activation, and the best part too is you will see how when you follow into the game, it expands, right? This expansion, which is going to be the next part, is you realize that we have 3 sides of us living. Now, I know that I'm giving all these numbers, I'm giving all these things. These things are going to be well correlated, so that when you go into the next level, this whole world opens up again, and you're like, wait, there's more, and there's challenges. It's fun, you know what I mean? When you go into the 3rd stage, you realize there's 3 sides in us. We have the animal, the child, and then I like to say the best self or the higher self, right? And so right now we're at fire, right? So when you activate the heart to the highest, it's supposed to feed all 3 of these sides differently. So for example, if you feed the heart to the highest, right? For the heart, what happens is the heart becomes a blood pumping machine, and what this looks like is strength. So imagine like going out into the wild and being so strong, being so activated, so masculine, so like let's get it. You know what I mean? That's what activating the heart will give to the animal. Activating the heart to the child will give the child like 5 different avenues, you could say, of having the most fun ever in life, and being able to connect to others and bring the fun to others and everything in between. And then activating the heart for the best self is knowing what is right or wrong, quote unquote, what is best and not best. And when we get into this area, like, people are going to have their own opinions on what is best, what is right. But when you're in your best self, you're just going to be able to read the energy in the room. You're going to read the energy in the world. You're going to be like, this is not right. Like, I could feel it, right? So when you channel the highest level of heart in the best self, he's just going to know what's best, whether it's for the world. But if, let's say, we're going to like, because the thing is, there's a second part of the game, and it's going to be for the world. That's the best part, right? We call this Rise 2.0, right? We're going to get there. But essentially, this whole point is to focus on ourselves. So the highest and the best for the heart is going to be knowing what is best for myself. Let's keep it simple rather than the world, right?
Yeah.
We move on. The body, okay? The body would be the highest activation for the body for the animal. I mean, that's self-explanatory. The animal is the body is the animal. So it's just
Yeah.
knowing how to take care of your body, everything in between, sleep, everything. It's just getting the highest level of pop for it all.
It's where people go into this biohacking and all those,
That's right.
like having the best of the best qualitarians, people that are just top level when it comes to their physical body. That's just the animal body.
That's it. And so you could only imagine it's like for each of the next element, right? So then we have water, which is emotion. So then we go into the emotion of the animal. And if you realize the emotion of the animal, so animals, I'm going to say it like this, even though animals have emotion, but when we tap into the animal side of us, it doesn't really heap to emotion. You know, the closest thing that is to emotion is the social factor in all animals, right? That like, hey, like I need to be around others, just a biological thing within my nature that I want to be around others. I want to have care. The magic word is going to be care here. So the care of the animal, it's the water of the animal, is the care of the animal. Is, hey, like I am valued, or I'm appreciated in this world. I'm appreciated by my family. I'm appreciated by my friends. I belong here. That's the feeling. I'm belonging. That's actually the keyword right there, belonging. So yeah, so we could follow through to all of these different ones, but these are what covered in the game. You know, for the third stage of the game.
Love it. So going back, just summarizing what everything, because it's super deep.
It is.
You can go into the web of things, and I love to classify it. So the game is 3 levels in a way: survival, self, knowing yourself, and then amplifying all your levels and getting right to the biggest level. And in the second level, you have 7 categories of people, right? All of us have those categories in ourselves, but we have like one that's more towards us. So honing that aspect of ours will help us get through the others easily, right? We then go to the third level, and then it's amplification for all the levels and optimizing the 3 parts of ourselves: the animal aspect, the child aspect, and the best self aspect. So I love how everything is connecting together, and people, you have to write this down. This will also be in the show notes, like the whole description of it. And the important thing right now is, will this game, how in the future do you see this game coming through in a way that they can start applying it?
I would say self-care. Let's say that. Let's just say that playing this game will increase their recharge, increase their rest, increase their love for themselves, increase all these other aspects that when they go out into the world again, they go out with that new renewed energy, that value, right? And they're like, I want to continue building up this value. I felt amazing today. I want to build that up more. And it's actually what my testimonials, my clients have all said. They've just said that it's like I don't really have to go so deep with everyone or anything to play the game. You don't have to go so deep. You just have to see that applying, for example, the top 5's principle, which is the principle that like start today, like you will see the change. They will come back just feeling more like themselves, and that's the secret, more like themselves, right? And so whenever they go back into the world, they get to accomplish whatever it is that they want to do. They feel a lot better before they even do it, and that's the secret, feeling a lot better before you go out, so that you can pour that you into things.
Yes, because if you are not full, if your cup's not full, how are you gonna be able to try to give water to others if you don't have it yourself? So it's giving
Indeed.
from the overflow. Dream, this has been amazing. I would love to have a part 2 now for the game, but for the world, because
Yeah, I know that one. No.
that's a whole powerful aspect of it. This will be live. This will be on Instagram. This will also be on YouTube later. I have to upload last week's video to YouTube. But maybe one last thing you'd like to share to the audience. We've had like almost 20 people watch this live today. So super blessed about what's happened here. The connection, and people that come here are the ones ready to hear this, are ready to level up, ready to play the game, because there's so much more out there than just our life.
Yeah, Luna would agree.
One last thing maybe to share on your side.
I mean, me being who I am, I'm a fire element. I'm also connected to Leo. I have this inclination to like say something like oh, like guys, I've like, for example, I would say out of all my friends and my family, I'm the one that lasted the longest, even in my community, even in my society. I'm the one that lasted the longest in holding on to a dream and not giving up on it, right? Now I'm sure there's others as well who are within me. I can mention a couple people who are exactly the same, right? Strong, let's get it. We're not giving up. Now that's coming from the Lion, Leo, fire side of me. But if I had to say something for the world, rather, it's that the truth isn't what people say it is.
Mm.
The truth isn't even what you say it is. It's actually in the middle.
Mic drop.
Right?
Pen drop. Awesome, brother. It's been wonderful having you here today. We did start a little bit later, but because it's international, you know how it is. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy.
Yeah.
And
your organization skills are really good, man. Like the way you put the game into the sections, it took me some years to do that. You was able to do it like that. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you, brother. I'm here just enjoying the magic.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying the magic, bro. Okay, brother.
Sounds good.
See you in the next one.